What is up, everybody? This is the Wild Nutrition Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Heskett, and this is episode 69. Not going to make a joke. Okay, so today's guest is Steven Finch. He's back for part 2. He's our first guest to be on for a part 2. There's a bunch of other guests I want to bring back on. However, we did not finish our conversation. And so I wanted to bring Steven back on, especially since we had some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi and things. Things kind of got cut short a little bit with part 1. So if you didn't listen to part 1, make sure you go back and do that. We kind of get right back on track with this episode. However, some things, if they don't make sense, go back and listen to part 1 if you haven't already. If you don't know, you haven't listened to part 1, Steven works with his wife, Jeanna, and they own Lifestyle Evolution, a coaching company. They work primarily with people who have 75 or more pounds to lose, and he is a board-certified nutrition and obesity and weight management expert. He has a doctorate in health sciences and a specialty in ancestral diets, and we're going to talk about a lot about weight loss, metabolic health, and overall health. And so I'm very sleep deprived still with having the newborn. Anyone who's parents and you have 2 under 2, you guys know. So without further ado, we're just going to get this kicked off. I'm going to try not to butcher any more of the introduction. So let's go. Here's Steven. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's going on, Chris? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. Back for round 2. So yeah. You are the first guest back for part 2. I have a bunch of others I want to get back on, but last time you were on, we just ran out of time. So I wanted to go into a little bit more detail with your program and what you guys do, and just like educate the audience a little bit more with your ancestral approach. So with that being said, let's, we were talking off camera a little bit. So let's deep dive into fat loss, because we don't need an intro this time. If you guys want an intro, go back to part 1.
Perfect. So really, it's all about fat loss, and the clients or the population that we serve is actually underserved. I mean, if you look at the whole overweight and obesity spectrum, we deal with about 10% of the patients and the clients that can't get help, have not seen success, whether it be binge eating disorder, whether it be nighttime eating syndrome, or whatever type of issue that they might have, or they've never been able to lose weight. So really, our approach is pretty simple. When I did my doctoral work, the one question that I always tried to answer was, what did humans eat? Now, like we said before, those foods don't exist anymore. Right. So we have to mimic the macronutrient ratios of most likely what we ate, and realize that there were so many different populations, so many different diets out there. And if we look at the Inuit, that's the newest, or the you would say the latest human diet, if you would say that's fish based diet, living on the edges of the Arctic and things like that. And then the oldest kind of diet that we're aware of still in existence would be the Aboriginal diet. So probably a little bit closer. That's probably a little bit closer to what the macronutrient ratios that I work with, meaning,
okay,
how do we take those populations, mix them all together, and come out with something from modern foods that works for people? That's really the whole goal. So, I think I've read over 10,000 papers on just that subject. I was reading a paper just this morning about the trophic levels, and that's the position of a species within a food web. We're apex predators. So, and during the Pleistocene, different than the Paleolithic period, because it has to deal with cycles of ice ages, which there were 11. So over just a little bit shorter period, about 2.8 million years. And then we can use that trophic level to find out what humans ate. So, there's all different theories and hypotheses, and we don't have solid evidence for any type of diet. But as I told you before, I've never seen a true vegan diet. I've seen a vegetarian diet in certain populations, like the Kadavans. But most populations globally had a protein, a green vegetable, and a fat. And we try to promote that more than anything else. Let's just eat whole food, right? More than anything else, eat whole food. And if it's not whole food, it's processed. And the processing is what kills people, Chris. I mean, it's like a small dose poison for some people, not all. Um, but yeah, it's a small dose poison. So we're trying to eliminate all the potential ways that people gain weight, and it's from what they eat. It's not due to lack of exercise. There's never been someone there's never been a person who's gained weight because they lacked exercise. It doesn't mean that it doesn't help, but humans don't work that way. So you either turn your fat factory on or you turn your sugar factory on. It's your choice. Fat cells are there. We're hypercarnivores, as we mentioned before, and we have abundant adipocytes, and they're smaller. And the reason that that is the case is because we needed food during periods. Well, first of all, as we explained before, the cortisol awakening response, that's where 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, every single human secretes cortisol. And the purpose of that, of course, is to prepare you for the day, as well as the dawn lipolysis, which we talked about before. And that's just releasing a little bit of fat because we didn't have refrigerators in the cave. So we need to have a few calories before we actually went out and search for food. And so we mimic every single physiological occurrence of really about human evolution that I can incorporate to most people's nutrition plan.
Okay. So do you guys I can't remember from our last conversation because it's been a couple weeks.
Sure.
Do you guys do intermittent fasting with everyone, or is it kind of just like 3 meals a day with your clients?
Yeah. So this is interesting. So I might have upwards of 60 steps that would be more for a fitness figure contest, which I don't really do anymore. But within, I'd say about 15 steps thereabout, which are all defined, all set down, all written out. We call it time restricted eating. And it doesn't mean that you reduce your caloric load in the day in the very beginning. So that might be step 7 or 8, where, okay, so we'll go through it. I'll give you an example client, which doesn't always occur this way, but this would be the basic template all the way up until beginning of fasting. So whole food diet, protein, green vegetable, and a fat. Take that. It's very thermic, produces a ton of satiety hormones that make you feel full. And so the whole goal is for a person losing weight is to not be as hungry at all for the first year and a half. It doesn't mean that, you've got to be hungry at some point during the day, even if it's for an hour, to let me know that you're in weight loss, because it takes about an hour for fat to feed yourself. So it's food. So the next step is someone hits a plateau and like, okay, I might have 6 months of just a very thermic, very, satiety driven diet, and they're losing weight, um, consistently. There's no one who wouldn't lose weight consistently coming from a standard American diet. So if they plateau at 6 months or a year, then we move to step 2. And that would be, I remove snacks between anytime you snack, you stop fat loss. So but you won't, because people do have a natural plate of food that they see themselves eating. So that doesn't have to change yet. If you want to eat more at your meals, perfect. But why would we strip snacks? The main reason we strip snacks is because you need to start working off more body fat if you plateau. Body fat become your snacks. You have to look at it that way. Body fat become your snacks. If you plateau, don't reduce calories at that point. Just remove your snacks. Then probably step 3 is, I would say, you plateau again. And remember this as well, Chris, plateauing is so important, not just for like a day or 2 or 3, but if you plateau for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that solidifies a new set point. So it's harder for your body to go above that weight. And that's a good thing, because now we've got a weight that's, even it might not be the weight you want to be at that moment. You've solidified that new lower weight. So, you can move down to the next stage. And the longer that you're there, so if that person is there for a month, perfect, because that is the really, and we don't wait that long. It's probably more, we want to make sure that you've truly plateaued, and 2 weeks for sure, 3 weeks definitely. So if someone hasn't lost weight at that point in time, we move on to, phase 3, which would be, okay, let's make sure your last meal is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And why would that be? You would want to do that because any meal that you eat at that point, it takes 3.5 to 4 hours of digestion. Therefore, you digest your meal fully. That means you're going to be working off body fat as soon as you go to sleep. If, let's say, you had a meal an hour before, you're working off the sugar. You won't even touch fat until 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. That's not what you want. So and think about this. I first remove snacks. That's 42 hours more fat burning time. 42 hours. That's incredible. Second, if you get about the same amount, you might get about up to 48 more hours if you don't have your meal past 6 or 7 p.m., making sure you're in bed by 10 max. And then therefore you've got another 4 hours per day, 3 to 4 hours per day of fat burning time. So we keep on increasing your moments of fat burning. So what would happen after that? And we can change dietary patterns. I don't have to stick with. I could make it more Mediterranean. I can make it paleo. I can make it keto. I can make it, but the initial plan, and I did send you a template of the basic template that I use, right? And so what you'll notice on that template is that there's color coding in pink. So even at this point, I don't have to take out any more food. I can just say, okay, you know what? You've stopped. I don't want you to eat the pink foods. And the reason is they're higher glycemic. So every food on that template is ranked from 1 to 100. Tablespoon of sugar being 100. Piece of white bread, which is not on the template, that's a reference standard, be 110. But both these reference foods tell you how much blood sugar is going to be raised. And, therefore, the higher blood sugar, the more insulin you secrete. And insulin's a fat storage hormone. So we want to keep your glycemic load, not your carbohydrates at this point. It's not low carbohydrate yet. It can be, but it's low glycemic. It's a whole food low glycemic diet, meaning, okay, you stalled again. So step 3 can be, let's just remove the pink foods, not caloric restriction. We're just taking foods that are 55 and under, meaning the highest glycemic index food you might have would be a sweet potato at 55. So at 55 and under, you can't gain weight. You're only going to lose weight. So we could implement just that color coding or the glycemic index, just remove those foods, not caloric restriction at that point in time. Then if you stall and lose weight again, the next thing that I'll do, like we said, could be fasting. And just like we said before, we are built because of the cortisol awakening response, CAR, as well as dawn lipolysis, to release fat. It's there for that purpose. We only have 2,000, 2,500 calories of stored glycogen or carbohydrate in our muscle and our liver and in our bloodstream. And we have millions of calories on our body, a lot of the people that we work with. And so if you don't ever turn it on, you're never going to use it. we have to keep on putting you in a position, again, not caloric restriction at this point. It's only about the quality of the food and the timing of the food. So that's for, we say, okay, time restricted eating. That's TRE. Some people call it intermittent fasting, but there's over 50 different types of intermittent fasting, but time restricting eating isn't that. Fasting I can do. And so technically, because we all fast every night. So we're used to it. We're just extending it. So now I can say, let's say you get up at 7 and you normally eat within an hour, something like that, maybe 2, maybe 9 o'clock. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say your first meal is going to be at 11.
Okay.
And the reason is I've just increased 4 more hours of fat burning time. Remember, we keep on increasing as you adapt or you balance or your weight stalls. Okay, perfect. You've gone through that 2-week period just to make sure that you know and understand that, like, okay, I've solidified my weight at this point. What's the next step? That's where I might add in time restricted eating, where you start at 11 and you don't go past 7, something like that. So an 8-hour eating window, still no caloric restriction. And you could still have a snack in between those just to bridge, or you could say, okay, have a cup of coffee with some cream in it. That's a bridge. We can take the cream out later, right? Just to get you through that process, because we want your body, nothing wrong. Well, milk is a weight gainer. We give it to babies to make them grow. We give it to bodybuilders to make them grow as well. So it's a bridge. That's all it is. And it doesn't mean that, as long as you're not lactose intolerant, you don't have an allergy, I'm okay with it at that point in time. And it's just enough. But we want to take, sorry about that.
You're good.
We just want to be able to let your body use its own fats. Why would we drink milk? So we can strip that out at a whole later stage as well. That's another kind of plateau. We're going to say, okay, milk's gone. Just drink the coffee. Use it as an ergogenic aid. So the caffeine's going to increase, just a little bit thermic rate. So you're resting metabolic rate just by a few, but it's everything that you do. So then we say, okay, well, if we don't want to make any changes at that point, then I'll say 1 p.m. would be the next stage. So you're going to eat within a 6-hour window. Still no caloric restriction. You are taking out the middle snack and still going down to 2 meals. And then you can even do a 1 meal where you just eat once a day. Now, for some people, that's just to get the weight loss or the weight gone and the fat gone. Doesn't mean you'll eat 1 meal forever in a day, but you could go up in stages on each and every one of those stages. But normally I never go down to 1 meal. It's always 2 meals for most people, stripping out the snacks. Don't eat past 6 or 7. So you're eating within a 6 or 8-hour window. What if you stall again? Okay, cool. I can change the type of food that you eat, meaning if you were eating a salad for lunch, which a lot of people do, I make that breakfast now. A lot of people do, because of the time, 11 to 1, they normally just eat a salad. It's a lot of carbohydrates in there. That's fine. They're adapting. But I can make it more like an Atkins, where it's a moderate amount of protein, lower amount of carbohydrates, something like 50. But you're looking at a breakfast, so bacon, sausage, eggs, whatever that is, a standard American breakfast, but you've removed any of the carbohydrates out of it, is what you do. So we can change the actual structure of that meal, still leave dinner the same, protein, green vegetable, and fat. And then later on, we can make that more Atkins-like as well, if we need to, still not reducing calories. So some people do eat more protein. And so what if they stall again? Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, that when you're on a keto diet or a carnivore diet and you stop losing weight, why does that happen? Well, protein is 67% the effect of raising blood sugar and insulin is a carbohydrate. So it's usually portion size I'll look at portion size. So if someone's eating 4 eggs in the morning and 7 pieces of bacon, which can happen if you're 400, 600 pounds, something like that. Nothing wrong with that. Then I will start looking at portion size if they stalled again. That's when I start, and that could be a year and a half, 2 years in, where they've continuously lost weight, meaning I will probably get 80 to 130 pounds off every single person per year until all that weight is gone. Meaning it's slow, consistent. You take 130 pounds, it's only 10 pounds per month. It seems like fat loss, quick fat loss, but it's not. It's consistent fat loss because we're addressing every stage, making sure you plateau, and then moving you to the very next stage where you're going to lose weight again. But that's not the only thing. So we also have plateau busters. What if I don't want to change your diet? What if the person doesn't want to, not eat past 7, right? So there's other things that we can do in between those. These are other mini steps, meaning one of the best things I've ever seen is I go send someone on a vacation, eat about 750,000 more calories per day, have a few drinks, still have 2 meals that are clean. I want you to eat more. But here's the thing. You'll burn an 850 to about 1,150 calories per day because it's not your normal routine. We call it metabolic disturbance, meaning you've got to think about packing, the tickets that you purchased. What was that date that I have to be at this conference on this particular night? And you're walking up into your hotel 20 times, during that day. You're walking everywhere. You're walking to dinner. So it's a metabolic disturbance buster, meaning if you plateaued, I can either send you on a vacation or a staycation. And a staycation is the same thing, meaning I want you to go to an amusement park all day. I want you to go for a hike. This is for a 2-week period, and then you stop. But I want you to go for a hike up a mountain for 4 hours and down for 2, right? And then the next day, I want you to go visit, a museum where you're walking around all day, or go visit a town that you haven't visited before, and go do some of the activities. Maybe you go dancing that night as well. Either whatever you're doing, it can't be, and this is in addition to your exercise that you might have done. So this is all additional, meaning I want you to truly be on something that's going to metabolically disturb you and have to make you use more brain energy. Your brain accounts for 25% of your resting metabolic rate. So it's very expensive organ. And because your thinking is increased on a staycation or vacation, oh my gosh, it's so effective. Now, these people will come back and be up a couple pounds. That's okay. We've taken them out of dietary fatigue. Dietary fatigue is a legit reason to have you eat more. And so we're not just having you walk more and exercise more, and we're having you eat more. So your body thinks, hey, I'm not dieting anymore. I'm not going to, I'm good to go. So you trick your body into thinking that it's not fatigued anymore. So that when you come back, your body's up a little bit. And then if you go right back to doing what you were doing before, no matter where you are at each stage, you will fly down. So that's a solid plateau buster that anybody can use with any program that they're doing. So it's very effective. So if you stalled, you could just add that in anywhere.
Okay. So I want to go back to the cortisol awakening response real quick. Now, you and I have slightly different populations of people we work with. Your population, right, it's 75 plus pounds of weight loss. Mine's generally somewhere between 20 to 30, but up to 50. Sure. So I'm sure you have an answer. Something I've found, and I don't really have the data behind it other than stress responses, specifically women who have a high stress situation. They might be single moms in the corporate world. They just have crazy schedules in the corporate world. Generally, they're working in a high stress environment and they have kids. So lots of stress in their life. They will try intermittent fasting, and it does not work well for them. They might lose like a couple pounds, but it doesn't work well. So what I found with those specific people is it's better to have 3 meals a day, because my theory is they're so high stress already that they get that cortisol response, and that's going to just drive cortisol like sky high. And we can blunt that a little bit with some food, and then it's just a little bit steadier rather than them like skipping, because because cortisol's already not high, they're like, I'm not hungry in the morning. And then by the time lunch comes around, they're like ravenous. And
Of course.
they're just like that brain fog, and they're just grabbing everything. So I'm not sure if you have anything to say to that. That's generally how I coach those
Mhm.
people and usually have success.
Listen, that's definitely. Let's talk about cortisol for a second. You're only supposed to have a small amount of it. It's a stress hormone. That's what it is. So you're not supposed to be secreting it from your adrenal glands all day,
Right.
right? And so if you are, that's a problem because cortisol past a few secretions during the day, um, yeah, it's a weight store. So you start to, if you chronically secrete cortisol, you're going to store more fat. No
Mhm.
doubt about it. No question about it. So you have to address cortisol from a different perspective as well. And that means more mindfulness, meditation. Jeanna, my partner in this whole thing, she deals with the why and the I deal with the nutrition and the how to get you down in weight. She deals with why you would want to do it in the first place.
Mhm.
So she's dealing with people to de-stress them, to find ways to combat that cortisol from even ever occurring. But I do hear you. But normally, if someone just jumps into intermittent fasting, they are going to fail. You have to stage it properly.
Okay.
So, I mean, I will take a client on a 36 or 48-hour fast. I do that. And it's not something that I normally do. But if you've got 400 pounds to lose, you don't want to wait around for 6 years. So I do have to go to, you know, these people are producing cortisol all day too. So it's not unlike your mother. It's not unlike your clients or, a mom or high stress corporate executive who, like you say, they may only have 25 to 45, 50 pounds to lose. And it's a lot for some of these people.
Mhm.
So just like someone has 100 to 200 pounds to lose, it's the exact same thing in your clients as well. So I find that if you haven't staged intermittent fasting, um, it will fail.
Okay.
It's too much of a drain on your system to say, okay, I'm doing this right now. You have to go with a whole food diet, meaning 5 times eating today. Then I strip out snacks once you balance. Then I, appropriately take out, or make sure that you eat no past 6 or 7. And of course, we can make a lot of changes in there, do a lot of things in twice. But if you do that properly, you can ease right on in. Because if they're not hungry any longer, and this is a question I always ask, what was hunger like today? You hungry at all? How about before breakfast? What about when you got up? What about right before you went to bed? So I'll ask these people, a couple times a week, what was hunger like? Specifically describe it for me and when it was. Because if you really have stopped being hungry, you're not burning more fat at that point in time. That means I've got to recruit more lipolytic enzymes, and that means reduce your glycolytic enzymes. That's a sugar factory. And then I recruit more workers for lipolytic enzymes, meaning they're released more. And then I've also got to increase beta oxidation once it hits inside the mitochondria. So cortisol, you got to deal with that stress. It can't. It's not just going to go away, but it is an issue. So I get that. But I think it's more about staging, about actually, getting to a point where it doesn't hit you like a Mack truck. Because if you go right into time restricted eating, and especially if someone's going to do a 24-hour, 48-hour, or even 7-day water fast or something, which you see as common, I don't do any of that, but I will do 36 to 48-hour fasts. And those are very effective, man. They're very effective. But again, you can't just jump right into that. This takes years of being able to program your body and then plateauing again. And then, we can use that. And some people, especially the metabolically challenged, people who gain weight easily, the people who weigh 400, 600 pounds, they can't eat 5 times a day. They can't do it. Even if they're exercising, their metabolism, their genetics, how they store fat, I mean, they store it easily. You could eat the same amount of calories as someone, who doesn't gain weight, but for them, they store it in their adipocytes, every single forkful. So it is difficult. We've got to find ways to keep that fat loss going. So I use it as a way, and remember, no restriction to calories. I use it as a way because you want that fat. Your body's designed to use fat. So yes, it is hard. You got to go through a period where your body adapts yet again. But if, like I do, I work with people daily. So what we do is, as soon as they get up in the morning, they take their BIA scale comes, they step on it, comes right to my phone. And then I comment like, oh, down today, looking good. And then they send me a picture of each and every meal that they eat. Snacks, I just want to text or anything. We use Practice Better, which kind of simulates a texting. We used to do straight text on the phone, which I find very easy because that's the accountability part of where I come in with food, is that if I'm there, every single day, every single meal, I truly become your weight loss partner. If I only see you once a month or once every 2 weeks, too much stuff is going on for me to make any impact. Hey, what'd you eat 3 days ago? I don't know. They don't know. I mean, you can't do that. I've got to be able to see what's actually occurring with this person on a day-to-day basis. And that means your wave cycles, hydration, when you ate, what you're eating. All I got to do is see a picture. I already know everything that's in that meal. And the reason I do it that way, and it doesn't mean that I won't count calories. That's like step 20. But I'm not trying to make these people fitness and figure contest winners. All I'm trying to do is to get the weight gone and then find a stable, moderation point. Moderation's a tricky thing because some people can't moderate an English muffin. Some people can't moderate alcohol. Some people can't, you can't have a bag of chips in your house because you'll eat the whole thing. Just don't bring it in. Right? We have to work on that. And that's where the accountability partnerships come, not just from me, but we were speaking about accountability. Well, how do I increase accountability for everyone that I eat with to help me? So what I've done before, and this was the most extreme case, I had to talk to 36 individual people for a person who was bedbound and weighed 700 plus pounds and they couldn't move. So they had people that were preparing or ordering or giving them food. Even the Domino's pizza guy put the pizza in a basket and pulled it up on the second floor. She pulled it up on the second floor. So we've got to talk even to the Domino's pizza person and set up an accountability partnership. So here's what that is. Let's say you have a partner. They're not changing their diet. This happens all the time, even in your client population.
Oh, yeah.
For me, right? For me, listen, if there's a bag of potato chips there, I'm going to eat the whole thing. So we lock it up in our house. Now, my son, has some chips and to go to school. He's not eating steak and broccoli. I wish he would, but he's not. So, but I don't want that food around there because I will graze on it. So you've got to get it either out of your house or get a lockbox. And this works very well because it's their food. It's not your food. You have to understand something. Your food, I mean, essentially, we have 2 to 3 whole days of whole food, fresh food in the refrigerator. I don't do cans. You can, of course, but we don't have any cans. We only have 2 to 3 days worth of fresh food, which that's all I can eat then. So I'm not going to go out at 10:30 at night and get a pint of, Ben and Jerry's, whatever ice cream because, it's a hassle. Now, some people might, but if it's not in the house, and 70% of all weight gain happens because of the food that's in the house, not that you bring in, it's already in there. That's where the weight gain comes from. So we've either got to lock it up because the other person isn't on a diet. They get their own lockbox. They have their own code. Or you set up an accountability partnership with that person. And it's as simple as this. You create the sentence that you want repeated back to you, such as, the next time you see me falling off the ledge in my eating, please reinforce, what my overall weight loss goals were something very simple. It's whatever the sentence you want repeated back to you. And it can only be repeated once during a 24-hour period, because your eating accountability partner has one specific goal: to plant the seed so that you can grow your own tree. If they try to plant 20, 30 seeds, meaning keep on, hey, that's not your goal. I thought or it becomes a negative feedback, and you'll eat whatever it is that they were trying to help you with in the first place. So they can only say it once. And the sentence has to come from you, repeated back to you once you've seen a moment of weakness. Very effective. It's extremely effective because we're allowing it to occur, because we're telling this person. We're just not getting hammered by that person, which normally does happen because they think they're doing something right by continually telling you, isn't this what your goal was? No, they need to be, they're there for support. And if you do that with every single person in your eating environment, you've held yourself accountable. So there's something that, you can do with every single person. It's very effective because, like I said, they're planting one seed so that you can grow your own tree instead of planting 20 seeds. That'll never work. And so accountability is not just from me. I give them 24 hours a day of accountability. So there is no falling off the ledge, even, and they're honest. So if I don't see weight dropping in a day, I'm going to find out what's going on. Or in a week, I'm going to find out what's going on. It could be waste. Every single person has a different waste cycle. So I have to say, okay, here's the pattern for this diet. It means every 3 days, you're going to be flat. Then you'll drop for 3 days. Looks like a set of stairs going down to the basement. That would be the pattern of the diet and the template that I've seen that I gave to you. That would be, and just like carnivore diet, slower yet. You might have a waste cycle every 5 to 7 days. You get standard American diet, 12 to 18 hours. So every diet has a different bowel movement frequency. There is no normal bowel movement frequency. It all depends on what you eat, health of your body, your digestive tract, your metabolism. So all these things have to be considered. But yeah, accountability is so important, Chris. It's, and of course, Jeanna, she does a group. She's in one right now. She does usually about 6 to 8 people, and we keep it small so that you're only you're with this group until, you're done. And people don't want to leave that because of the accountability. I mean, it's the group support that they get is phenomenal as well. It's another level of accountability. So, and then Jeanna will do one-on-ones, and I'll do one-on-ones as well. You just pick up the phone. I'll pick up the phone and call anyone at any point in time. They understand that too. Like, I don't care if it worked. And I don't hear from them. I want to see what's going on because I am your weight loss partner. So I'm high touch, meaning I'm going to get those results because I'm going to be involved in your life. That's just simply what it comes down to.
Awesome. Okay. And I know how important accountability is, and I've seen the research on it, and just trying to do it on your own is one of the least successful things you can do. Like, you might as well just play the lottery at that point. Like, you have better odds than that, but it's essentially playing the lottery with your health. So when anyone, or any change in life, like, you want someone, not just for accountability, but having like a mentor. Like, we were talking off camera, like, when you get a mentor or a coach, as you said, I've used the same reference you did off camera of like, you had coaches in school. Like, I had track coaches and cross country coaches. I had other mentors, like when I did my internships in college and stuff. Like, we all had mentors and teachers growing up, and then all of a sudden, like, you leave school and you're like, I don't need this anymore. I can do everything on my own.
Or you realize that structure that was just seemed to be commonplace and everyone is getting it. So it didn't seem different, but then it all goes away.
Yeah.
So just like you, I loved, I had a great track coach that I could not wait to go out and just, I'd run my fastest mile just in the warm up. I was racing, and he challenged me. Same thing with my English teacher. I wasn't the best writer back then, but man, hour after school, a couple times a week, I dramatically improved my grammar, which my wife still has to check. I mean, every paper through my doctoral program, she read and corrected and said this and this and this. And so, we have to set up, just like for her, and we have to keep these kind of figures in our life, the people that can help us move to the next stage, because it isn't easy. It's weight loss is very complex. Obesity, even more complex. I mean, it's essentially, it ain't rocket science. It's much more complicated than that. It truly is. And so you have to understand everything that's involved. And that's that social psychodynamic that you have to involve everything, your eating environment, your workers, your mentors. If you don't have a mentor in something, even if it's just a personal trainer, someone who's keeping you honest about your physical fitness. I have a trainer. I mean, I could do it myself, and I do. I walk my daughter without anyone asking me every single day. I get 20,000 steps in every single day. That one, no problem. But me going to the gym, I mean, it's not, I don't enjoy it day in and day out, but I understand that it's important for me. So I do have an accountability partner too. So that's someone, where I want to have just a minimal, physical fitness. Next year, me and my brother are taking a pilgrimage journey from France to Portugal. It's about it's 250K, a little bit more than that. And you know what? I can't do those things if I'm not in shape. So, you have to, it's not just goals, but I need to be able to, on a moment's notice, say, hey, I want to do this trip. I want to go take this trip. I want to ride my bike across country. I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. Those are two things that I've done, right? The John Muir Trail. So all these things are the Colorado Trail. So that's 685 miles. And, I did that with my son. I have to be in shape to do those things. And the only way that I can, do those is to have someone who holds me accountable on a day-to-day basis. And that's so, I do have a personal trainer. And so, sometimes it's 2 times a week, sometimes it's 3. But yeah, I have that as well. I need that accountability just like everyone else. And you too, Chris, you're important to the people that you serve. I mean, without you, they're not going to make their goals. There's just no doubt about it.
Right. And then I have my, I don't have a fitness mentor right now. I will in the future, but I have a business mentor. Like I'm mentoring people, but then I have a mentor myself, and my mentor has a mentor. And it's just like the different levels of it. Like his mentor is, he spends $1 million a year on his mentor, who's Alex Hormozy. And he, I'm sure Alex, I think has a mentor or mentors. I'm not sure who they are, but I'm pretty sure he does. And then, so it's like, you're getting like that super high level stuff. I'm not there yet. Like not going over that, but to get to that next level, I'm being coached on that. And that helps me like coach the people I'm serving. And then that just, it just permeates throughout everyone's lives.
Exactly. I used to use school for that purpose. I didn't really have a mentor. I kept on, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome. So I never think that I know anything. This is crazy. I know. And so I keep on, I'd be in another PhD program right now if Jeanna would let me, but she won't let me. So, and I'm good with that. I got a lot of things I got going on right now, and I've got a different focus on life. But at one point in time, I use school as a way to hold me accountable to the things that I needed to know, because it was structure. Same thing. But, I don't need to do that anymore. Now I've got enough certifications. And I'm not going to stop. I've got enough degrees. I'm not going to stop, but I don't feel that pressure anymore to compete with another person or compete with another business, because you know what? Results, like I said, I'm 100%. I don't ever fail a single person, because once I get you in my realm, you're not leaving until you reach those goals. You're not leaving until you reach those goals. So we do, like I said, 24/7. I mean, if I get a call, or a text at 11 at night, I'll respond if I'm up. If not, I'll wait till the next morning where, it's this consistent dialogue. So I do mentor people as well. I do it for free because just like we're talking about, I mean, I've probably mentored, I don't know, 30, 40 health coaches, nutritionists, dietitians, physicians as well. We added a weight loss practice to a physician friend of mine.
Nice.
Who all he does is he has an iPhone, and that's the way he does it. It's texting, and they send all the pictures to this one phone, and then they have a nurse or their PA who does most of the diets and things like that. They just look at it once a week. So they don't even do it day to day. But all the pictures just think about this. All they have to do is go into that one client. They can flip through every single picture within 2 minutes for a month. They can see exactly what that person is eating. And if there's nothing there, well, then that's an issue. So it's a different system for them. But man, they're killing it. They're killing it because doctors aren't trained in nutrition.
No.
Physician assistants or associates aren't trained in nutrition. Nurses aren't trained in nutrition. They are trained to dispense a medication or an intervention or a surgical procedure, but nutrition isn't part of that. It's not a part of any of their curriculum. In fact, it's a seminar. They might get 16 hours in their whole 4-year medical school curriculum. That's it. So they have to do, it's not that they're not capable. They're extremely capable. They're extremely brilliant people. But if you're not trained in it, you're not doing it. Therefore, that's why, they don't dispense a diet when you leave. I've never had a physician ever say, let me provide a diet for you just because they're not trained in it. It's not what they do. They only have 15 minutes. They can't even get paid for it. So why would they do that? It's not their job description. So you have to find ways to, like I said, I'll mentor people if they don't understand it. And every single person I've mentored is crushing it. Like 100-pound clients, just another, we're going to hire this Andrew, because he's just, oh my God, he's doing what I do. And he doesn't have the education that I have, and that's not important. Once you understand, and he does have a solid education, but man, it goes further. Then we start, it's you need these mentoring type of things. And I do it for free because I should do a course on this. I should put together a course on this high ticket course. Honestly, it'd be a lot of work, but I already have it. I'll send it to you. I already have 30-page manual for a potential somebody who's doing what I do. And it goes into detail, like even James Clear, accountability. You'd be like, wow, there's like 20 pages just on accountability, on how you deal with it. And so it is an instruction manual. I had to create it because I had to start somewhere with some people, and it kind of solidifies what I do as well. But I love the mentoring part of it because I want to see people gain success. And it doesn't mean they can't go off and do their own thing as well. It's just a system that works. That's all. Whole food. Awesome. Whole food and accountability. That's all. That's the main thing that we do. Whole food, accountability, and then making changes at the right time. And you're right. I wouldn't be able to do it without the mentors. Sure, I'd love to have $1 million slew of mentors for me. That would be awesome. I mean, I need that, but that's next level for me too. And so next level.
Awesome. I think that is a great place to stop before we completely run out of time again. So thank you again for coming back onto the podcast. This was awesome. I think people are going to get a lot out of it. Where can people find you?
You can find us at lifestyleevolution.com. That's lifestyle-evolution.com. And you can talk to Jeanna or myself. The phone number is listed on the site, but you can absolutely 720-646-5433. Test me. I'll pick up the phone. So, I'm on it all day. I sit in my car and we talk to people. That's my main job, is talking to people. So test me on it. If you have a
Awesome.
question or anything, give me a call.
Perfect. So the website and social media links will be down in the show notes. I don't put the number down there just in case there's some bots going around trying to scrape numbers out there so you don't get spammed. But
no worries.
If you need the number, just press that, like Spotify or Apple, like the back 15 seconds. Just press that button real quick and re-listen. But thank you again for coming on.
Hey, you're welcome, Chris. Great thank you for having me, and we'll talk soon.
Definitely. Thank you for tuning into today's episode with Steven Finch. Make sure to go follow him and Jeanna. Those links will be down in the show notes, or just press that backspace button to get the number and just give him a text message right away. With that being said, as always, there are going to be a bunch of freebies down in the show notes for you. In addition to following Steven, we're going to have some stuff down there below. Also, make sure to give the show a rating real quick. It takes just a few seconds, and it helps push the show out there so more people can find the Wild Nutrition Podcast. So give us a 5-star rating and actually write a review if you have the time to do that and you'll have liked the podcast so far. Last thing, we are at the end of July, so we are going to be looking for some clients coming into August. So our rosters are going to be open. We have 5 spots open for August. So if you are interested in our 3-phase PWC transformation program, down below is the application. Just give that a quick click, and there are only going to be 5 spots open for August. So make sure you click that and apply if you have been struggling with your weight, you're tired of doing the MLM diets, you're tired of having low energy, tired of the yo-yo dieting. If that sounds like you and you're ready to commit to something that will give you permanent, lasting results without needing to buy supplements every single fucking month, click that link because I have the solution for you.